No live show today here on the Cowboys Report because we will be heading up to Indianapolis for the NFL Combine. But as always, there's at least one video for you guys today. We begin with the massive jump in the NFL salary cap, how that impacts the Cowboys, most notably Dak Prescott. The deadline to make a decision is approaching here for Dak and the Cowboys, although maybe this is more of a soft deadline and less of a harder deadline with this massive adjustment in the NFL salary cap. All the times we've talked about this Dak contract, we had operated under the projected $242.5 million, so $242.5 million on the salary cap. That is much higher. It is now $255.4, a significant jump, more than expected, which gives all teams, including the Cowboys, some more flexibility and will, of course, result in the players getting some more money as well. How do they use that salary cap space, the extra salary cap space? Well, Dak is one of the bigger dominoes to fall this offseason. Here's the latest from what Jeremy Fowler reports on ESPN. I was told that Dallas and Dak Prescott's reps have not had any substantial talks. They have not discussed numbers. They could certainly make the NFL Combine next week, though, to at least get started to see where each side is at. Now, we will have NFL Combine coverage for you as it relates, of course, to the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy's not going. He's going to do virtual stuff with the prospects. We'll still have content for you, and I think we'll get some whispers and buzz coming out of there as well. So make sure you are subscribed, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. I think there are a couple different ways you can view the salary cap change, how it impacts Dak, all of them realistic. Number one way, hey, this gives you more room to extend Dak Prescott, and you can pay other players as well now. It also gives you room to more manageably not extend Dak. It's not going to be as big of a drain on your overall salary cap with his big hit. Also, more salary cap cap room equals Dak's going to probably ask for a bigger deal if he's going for the full big end money like he has previously under Todd France. To put it in perspective, great tweet here from Spotrac. Joe Burrow's $55 million per year extension last season represented 24.4% of the league salary cap. In those terms, average per year relative to that year when signed salary cap, $62.4 million carries the exact same proration figure. So we're talking massive money involved here. The sticker shock is real for these quarterbacks because the cap has skyrocketed. Since 2021 alone, it went from $182.5 to $255. It's gone up by $100 million in less than 10 years. And there's no sign of it slowing down anytime soon. And that number is only going to continue to rise because not only is the total money going up each year, the jumps have gotten bigger per year as well. That's why you've seen such massive inflation, in particular with the quarterback market, because the salary cap is inflating as well. So what will Dallas do with Dak Prescott? More to come on this conversation. If they will extend it, they'll get a long-term deal done before the new league year begins in March, or if they're just going to restructure, set up a lame duck season next year, or this upcoming year, or W, if they're going to wait and they're not going to touch his deal right now. It's the pinned comment on today's video, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Now, the cap hit percentage by season. Now, this is what the actual salary cap hit was relative to the salary cap. So in 2020, Dak counted 15.8% of the Cowboys salary cap this year, or that year, was 9.4, 9.5, 11.9. It is currently set to be 233.3, or 23.3. Restructure brings it down to 14.7, so still less now than the franchise tag year was in 2020. 13% if you extend him, after the salary cap jumps up by $12.9 million. To put that in perspective, by the way, when he got that $40 million per year deal, it was about 22% of the cap. You know, we just went through that deal with Joe Burrow being at 24.4%. So we're talking a roughly 2%, extra inflation for the quarterbacks. It's not actually all that much, if we're being honest here. Now, to put it in perspective of this year's salary cap number, if you gave Dak the same $40 million per year deal, the percentage of the cap is actually going to plummet to 15.67%. Again, this number here is based on the Joe Burrow figure. The actual cap hit, what you're paying them in that year, would be substantially lower. $45 million now becomes 17.6%. $50 million is now under $20 or 20%. 55 gets you to 21.53. You can go to $60 million per year, and you'll be in that 23.49 million or percentage range. So $60 million on the average per year is about 23.5% of the salary cap this year. Obviously, the per year will be adjusted if you're not going to pay that much on the cap. You can go all the way up to $64 million per year, and it's at 25%. That's a massive sticker shock number, but you could do that. I don't think Dak would be asking for that necessarily, nor would I want to give him quite that much money, but you could do that, and it would only be a 2 to 3% raise. I don't think a 2 to 3% raise relative to when you sign these deals is going to destroy your team, especially with the salary cap continuing to rise. In a couple years, it'll look like a pretty team-friendly deal, as all these quarterbacks have. I mean, Dak's tied for 10th now in the highest-paid quarterbacks. The sticker shock is very real, but it is the cost of doing business. The question is, with the increased cap, how much percentage does Todd France think he's going to get for Dak, and how much do the Cowboys want to adjust that deal? We'll know more in the near future. Now, today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is the place to get last-minute tickets or any tickets to your next big event. It could be sporting. Maybe you want to go watch some Mavs, some Stars, or whatever local team you are. This is America's team, after all. Maybe you want to go to a concert, a theater, whatever. Theater show, I should say. Game Time has you covered. Fast, easy, simple, and they've got the best price guarantee as well. It's the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get the best price. In fact, if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. You can find exclusive flash deals, sponsor deals, zone deals are available as well, which are Game Time picks the section, or you pick the section, you pick the section. Game Time picks the seats. On average, 18% savings. There were some available for the Pacers-Mavs game that were actually 20% savings there. So download the Game Time app today over at GameTime.co. Create your account and use code CowboysChat for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but create your account. Go to the profile section of the app. It's going to be at the bottom right once you download it. Hit redeem code. Type in COWBOYSCHAT for $20 off. That link's going to be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Both the promo code and the link are. We appreciate Game Time sponsoring us here at the Cowboys Report. Now, I do want to put some of the impacted salary cap for the Cowboys in perspective here. Depending on which site you're using, you'll see a little over $3 million or a little under $10 million in negative cap space right now for Dallas. Spotrac and Over the Cap have different amounts, I believe, based on the rollover amount differences, so TBD on that front. But the Cowboys, especially with the extra, salary cap increase, they don't actually need to touch Dak Prescott's deal before the new league year begins to get compliant. They can do moves like this. They can restructure Zach Martin. That would save up to $12.59 million. Restructure Trayvon Diggs, save $7.9. Terrence Steele, $4.9. Cut Leighton Vander Esch, $2.15. Or get a deal done with CeeDee Lamb and save $13.49 million on the salary cap, which seems important to consider. Now, we'll come back to CeeDee Lamb here more in depth amid the Justin Jefferson trade rumors here on him. But one of those moves, the Zach Martin move alone, gets you to the minimum. Now, if you free up Diggs and Steele and move on from Vander Esch, it gives you a little bit of money, but doesn't actually give you money to spend the way you want to spend, the way you want to be able to make some moves in free agency, or at least the way you should want to make some moves. And you still want to do something in free agency that's not just sign 3 guys to vet minimum deals. That's not going to be enough if your plan is to try to win more games like you've done the past 28 years for this organization. So if you want to have some more money available, the best way is to do something with the Dak Prescott contract. And if you want to make it more than just 1 year, you should go the extension route. So will Dallas spend in NFL free agency? Y for yes, N for no. Get those predictions in for me. Where else but the comment section right now. The Justin Jefferson trade rumors are suddenly arriving here. The Pioneer Press reporting the Vikings could end up making Justin Jefferson available via trade. Here's what Charlie Walters wrote. Meanwhile, quote, steam continues that the Vikings could make Justin Jefferson available for trade. The NFL salary cap increase of $31 million per team, that's relative to last year's number, could push an extension for Jefferson to more than the initially projected $150 million over 5 years. Now, before we get too far in here, do not anticipate Justin Jefferson coming to Dallas anytime soon. This team is not going to pay him and CeeDee Lamb the two biggest wide receiver contracts in NFL history. But those two are connected. And what happens with Jefferson will impact CeeDee Lamb, whether or not the Cowboys want to admit it or not. I hope they're smart enough to realize this. There are three big receivers due for massive record-setting extensions, and maybe Brandon Ayuk commands something nearish the figure as well. It's Jefferson, it's Lamb, and it is Jamar Chase. And Chase straight up said this out loud, which I appreciate the honesty, and their agents feel the same way. They all want to go last. They would all like to be the last player to sign because the first guy sets the new market, and then the next guy gets a little bit more, and the next guy gets a little bit more after that. The last guy, as long as they're in the similar-ish tier, always gets the most. See the quarterback market that once featured Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo as the highest-paid quarterbacks in the NFL has changed every single time a new deal gets signed. It's constant. It's always growing there. So do you want to make CeeDee Lamb the highest-paid wide receiver in the National Football League? 1 for yes, you do. 0 for no, you do not. Sound off in the comments. I argue this. You should do it as fast as you can, Cowboys. You should get that deal done as quickly as humanly possible, and that's going to have to mean that you have to set the market. You can't let the market set you as you've done all these other big-time deals. You're going to have to make it probably $30 million per year. The Tyreek Hill contract, to an extent, which is currently the highest-paid wide receiver, is a little bit fake. The way that deal is structured, it carries a massive final year of the deal where he's making $45 million in the final year of his contract, massively higher than anything else, that he's probably never going to see. That he's probably going to get moved on from or extended and restructured to bring that money down before you get there. So the $30 million, to an extent, is a little bit fake. But the Devontae Adams one is not. He's making $36 million the next couple of years in cash after this upcoming year, but it's move-onable if they wanted to. But that's the number. If you want to set the market, pay it. Maybe it's even a little bit above $30 million. I know that's a lot of money, but if you get it done first, which means you have to be aggressive in a way they've never really been with these big deals of late. Even Trayvon Diggs wasn't quite the same number involved there. If you do that, then Jefferson gets more and Chase gets more. And just like that, you're like, man, we got the top 3 receiver in the NFL, and we're paying him less than the other guys. Got to have the long-term view on that front.